Hey guys, I couldn't find an actual guide with gameplay on the frog skip, so I decided to make one myself. This video will start with a quick summary of what the frog skip is, the pros and cons, and then jump into the skip itself, showcasing the pulls and speeding up when it's just killing packs to save time. So feel free to skip ahead if you just want to see the skip and you already know why you're doing it. This will also assume your group does not have a way to make it down to the third boss without fighting the two ads by the book, so it is usable in any team composition. First off, the pros. The skip is objectively faster. With less walking distance and bigger pulls, you effectively cut out the slowest, most time-wasting segment of the dungeon, the frog tunnels. This route also offers much better heroism timings for Fortified, as you no longer feel like you're wasting it on Lamor, and instead get to do bigger pulls and save more time. And the biggest benefit of all, no frogs. Next up, the cons. This route is much harder as it involves killing bigger packs and stasis packs, which were designed to be difficult as a punishment of sorts for getting caught by the whelps. This skip is also very kick reliant, as you will be pulling multiple Lasher packs at a time that will start shredding DPS with their casts. Finally, the tank will need to be tanky enough to live these massive pulls and allow the healer to focus on the DPS and the dots put on them. The first pull here, you'll be grabbing both packs of Lashers and hitting the whelp to spawn the 3 shards in the middle with hero. The tank must quickly group and get aggro on the mobs before frontals start going off, then focusing on interrupting casts. It is best to use your CCs beyond just interrupts on the Lashers here to prevent casts going off, and using heavy defensives for the frontals as the tank is more likely to survive the hits than the DPS are the cast. The next pull will be the tree with the Lashers, making sure you pull the first set of 2 Lashers at the next pack back into the hallway to line of sight them. Here as the tank, I like to focus the tree interrupt for myself and let the DPS handle the Lashers. Finally, the last Lasher pull, you will grab the 2 Lashers on the side and the tree pack without aggroing the whelps yet. You will run back to the hallway as everyone else line of sights in order to pull them in and kill them there. If you are pugging, it is required that one person dies from not line of sighting the back. Don't ask me why, I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. Once done, you will aggro the whelps and awaken the next pack. Tank it against the wall so that frontals don't hit the DPS. The important part here is to make sure, once the circle goes out, you run down the stairs or on your right if you are facing towards the Lamor room. This is because the DPS will move back, especially the ranged, and you don't want to be the guy that hits everyone with the frontal here. This pack can get very rough as a tank, don't underestimate the frontals, especially if you're pushing keys for your item level. Once you drop down, kill this area as normal. I wouldn't recommend more than 2 trees at once, but if your group is coordinated and good at interrupting, nothing really stops you from going to all 3. After this, you kill the boss as usual and move on down to the stairs where the next pack is. After aggroing the whelps, you want to pull the elementals with this pack as early as possible. Depending on your tank and what you need to get your tankiness ready, make sure you don't die before all else. Efficiency does not matter if you die on the pull trying to grab more. In this gameplay, I delayed grabbing the elementals a lot because it was sanguine and that makes it a bit harder to chain that, but the earlier you can pull them in and get the cast, the better. Once on the first ring, this double pull is your priority. If the patrol is going to the right side, you can pull the right pack first. All that matters is grouping up as much as possible. If heroism is up here for you, use it now or during any big pull on the rings. As a tank, make sure your target is always on the Frostcaster to kick the root and let the DPS handle the other kicks such as Waking Bane. As you are pulling the next pack, do your best to stay on the edge and avoid this patrol. It's slow, does not multi-pull well, and you don't need it, so it's best to just avoid it. As seen in the gameplay, it's a good idea to pull the next pack far back, because your DPS can't follow you for frontals, but you also don't want them ass pulling the patrol. As you see here, you can bring the pack along the edge here and continuously attack it as long as everyone is paying attention to where the patrol is. The next ring, the same rule applies. Look to pull whichever two shield guys are on the side with the patrol. If you kill the right side, make sure to run back left, as you can avoid pulling the big crystal pack. If you did kill the patrol in the first ring, you do not need both sets of shield adds. If you avoided the patrol above, you do need both sets of shield adds. If the patrol is in a bad spot, you can just pull the right side shields with the crystal pack if you really want to. Always try to double pull whenever possible. You never want to go pack by pack in this dungeon unless you absolutely have to. So here, as you can see, the shield mobs don't really do anything to the tank, and there's only two caster mobs, so as long as you do not get blasted by the frontal, this is a very easy chain pull. Next part of my gameplay, my game did crash pulling the first two slashers, however, generally you can chain pull them into this next pack. Just make sure to use defensives and always focus to make sure you are the one interrupting frozen bindings. Pulling the captain with a group of casters is ideal, as long as you make sure you do not get one shot by turning your back on the breath. Like I said before, efficiency will not matter if you die. So once you are safely able to handle the captain, is when you can pull in the next pack. There's only one kick here that is important, which is frozen bindings, so as the tank, it is your job to make sure you get the one important kick. Next up, you can grab all three of the melee guards here. You can backstep to dodge the ice cutters, but it's a much more tricky window compared to the backstep dodge you can do in Halls of Valor. Now, in the gameplay, I do not chain pull this because of Sanguine, but it's a good idea once these adds are low health and start standing still to cast their ice cutter, that you run to the next pack and begin chain pulling so that your DPS can keep things rolling. After that is the boss gauntlet part of the run. At this point, based on your time, you can see your likelihood of timing. The lower the key level, the less time you'll need, obviously. Here we had about 12 minutes and finished with about 2 minutes left, but it also was a fortified week. Once the Zerg Blade is dead, you can do the actual skip. Just walk back out towards the rings, hug the left side of the wall, and drop down onto the arch. Don't drop down right onto the platform, arch, then platform. Once there, kill these two mobs and take the book. You now have only the last two bosses to kill and not a frog in sight. And that's the frog skip. I've noticed a lack of decent guides coming out of WoW, especially for skips like this, so I thought that I would try to add my own in to help the knowledge that the community has, especially when trying to catch up on newer strategies. So if you did enjoy or this did help you, I would really appreciate it if you left a like, or if you subscribe to the channel, as I'll be trying to upload more guides like this. And thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your keys.